Hey guys, welcome to the Emergence Podcast, a podcast that aims to empower fitness professionals through candid conversations about building sustainable minds, bodies, and businesses. I'm your host, Laura Gunder, ex professional ballet dancer turned classical Pilates instructor based in New York City, sharing my insights from a decades long journey navigating an industry with no set path to success. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey guys, it's Laura. Happy Sunday. I am doing my reflection from our last Emergence episode with Michael. I had so much fun talking to him. He's such an amazing person and really insightful in the way he thinks about business and navigating the fitness industry and how he thinks about scaling himself, but also bringing a level of authenticity, purpose, and passion behind his business. One thing that I really got out of our conversation and wanted to kind of just briefly go over here is the concept of betting on yourself. And we hear that a lot. And I feel like it's really easy to be like, oh, yeah, just bet on yourself. But like we kind of said, it's kind of like a muscle that you have to continue exercising. And I think betting on yourself, honestly, is uh, spiritual, emotional, physical, financial, and kind of personal um, journey and kind of structure that we each kind of have to figure out for ourselves. Because we come from different backgrounds, different childhoods, everybody has different experiences growing up. We all have our own insecurities, strengths, weaknesses, and those can obviously really um, work in our favor, our strengths. I think it's really important to identify what is working in your life and what positive things you have going for you that have gotten you into the rooms that you're in currently and continue to move you forward, and what systems you already have in place that support you in achieving your goals and creating the life that you want. And on the flip side, I think it's really important that you are aware of your weaknesses, where you may fall a little shorter, where you might have knowledge gaps, and look at that as not a weakness in terms of as a negative way, but how do we fill those gaps? Who do we need to talk to help us get to the next level? And Michael was talking a lot about a sounding board and putting yourself in rooms with new people, putting yourself out there. And I think that's really, really important when it comes to our weaknesses and how we kind of level up. So that is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. And sometimes it's hard because it's hard to be really sometimes honest with ourselves about what we need to work on. And the more honest you are with yourself, the actually more easily you improve and are able to kind of fill those gaps and achieve your goals at a faster, more expedited rate. And something I love what Michael was saying was about a sounding board and having kind of people around you who can kind of give you constructive feedback and from a place of they believe in you and they support you, but they know that there's certain skills or knowledge that they have that you might not have. And utilizing that is something that is really important for your growth. And as I've gotten older, have kind of learned how to, uh, yeah, like use it in a positive light. And that when I don't know something, I'll go read about it, chat GPT it, go ask your mentor, go ask a friend, um, use it as an opportunity to network and meet some new people who are in rooms or in places or have skill sets that you want to improve on. And it's a great way to connect with people, really, and kind of open up your network for, where you are now and also for future collaborations, future job offers. In the podcast, we saw how, one of Michael's goals was to work at Motive, and that was kind of like a full circle moment for him. And hearing his kind of journey to how he got there, was really cool. And it was from kind of networking and, talking to the owners. And then he got there and then he was able to sort of level up and transition out of motive. But it's really amazing when you have a goal and you achieve it, or you finally get into that room with the people that you've always wanted to be in that room with, or you're working with people you never thought you would work with. And I think it's important that we take a moment and celebrate that, honestly, because a lot of the times we overlook that achievement and we overlook all the work that we did to get there. And I hope you guys celebrate when you do reach your goals. And I'm working on that too because I always want more. But I think it's really important that learn to be happy in the moment and where you are, because there will be always another mountain to climb. But if you can kind of learn to enjoy where you are, and it's still okay to like want to pursue more, that it can actually be a little bit more fulfilling and fun. And then just kind of being in that mindset, I feel like you're going to have a different energy that you bring when collaborating with people or working with people. And it kind of makes you more open and malleable and adaptable to other people's opinions about your work, or makes you be a little bit more critical, like think more critically about the moves you want to make in terms of how to leverage different opportunities, different coaches, different workshops, um, or just kind of use your own skill sets. But I want to go back to talking about the positive things, and also be honest with yourself of what do you bring to the table that makes you so uniquely you, and how can you kind of illuminate those things and use them to your advantage, and sort of maybe offer those tools to other people who may have your skill sets or maybe their weaknesses, and maybe some of your weaknesses is their um, you know, skill sets. And in that, we can really use each other and become better teachers, become better leaders, become better in business, and kind of build bridges, I guess, in a cheesy way. But through that, actually, working together and collaborating, everybody's happier because you feel more connected to the community that you're working with. And you're also able to sort of have that continuous way of growing and learning, which keeps things really interesting and fun for you. And it's like you won't ever get kind of stuck. And I mean, you might get stuck, but it's a great way to sort of help you through your journey, and kind of enjoy the process more when we're doing it with other people or learning from others. So that's one of my main takeaways when it comes to betting on yourself. It takes a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of sort of false confidence at first, but like I mentioned, I used to feel a lot like, kind of, imposter syndrome. I still get that all the time, but I think the more you do it and the better outcomes you get because you're doing it, it becomes easier and easier. I mean, we're all instructors, right? So it's like working out a muscle. Like the first couple of weeks of a program or first couple of months is kind of difficult, but then it gets easier and easier, and then you're lifting heavier, you're doing more complex exercises, you're doing a higher expression of an exercise. And I feel like it really applies to how we think about our businesses and how we think about achieving our goals, and how the kind of struggle and strengthening that muscle can be difficult, kind of up front. But after a while, it actually becomes really enjoyable. It's just like mastering a new skill and being curious about something and then following that curiosity. And I think that's what keeps things fun, and that keeps you alive and feeling energetic and feeling grateful for the moment, grateful for where you are, but also excited for what's next. And that's what I really liked about Michael's energy, was he seemed to really have a positive outlook about where he was currently, and then also where he was going. And those two things can go side by side. You don't have to be miserable where you are to know you want something better. Or if you are not happy where you are, know that there is better, and that sometimes we can be grateful that don't forget that everything you have now, you probably wanted a couple of years ago. And as cheesy as that sounds, sort of reminding yourself that if you do feel stuck in the pursuit and in the journey and in the curiosity of finding what's next, or kind of workshopping and figuring out your next steps, that it can be a little less. pressuresome than I think we, the pressure we put on ourselves. And it's not so black and white. And like I said, everybody comes from their own backgrounds and has their own history, personally, professionally, that impacts how we think and feel and how we feel safe taking certain risks. So, again, I feel like it's important to really understand where you came from, your weaknesses, your strengths, kind of maybe where some anxieties lie, and do that self work and self reflection on yourself so you can find sort of those blind spots and weaknesses and use them not in a sense of how they hold you back, but when better understanding yourself, you can see how you may hold yourself back with limiting beliefs when it comes to self talk and self narrative, um, and start to just the process of changing those kind of thought patterns and how we speak to ourselves and how we kind of feel within our bodies. And that takes a lot of time, a lot of self work, and it's not going to happen overnight. But it is exercising a muscle and choosing to actively work on bettering those narratives about yourself so you can achieve your goals and utilizing the people around you and connecting with people because everybody, has goals and ambitions and gets stuck in their head and feels like an imposter. But um, yeah, I feel like the best part about all of this is that we get to connect with people daily, our clients, each other, and it makes it really fun. So that was one of my main takeaways from this week. I hope you guys have a great week whenever you're listening to this. And yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. Um, Bye.